For much of the last decade, Phil Jackson has literally sat in the big chair, towering over the rest of the NBA here at Staples Center. But since Jackson's announcement that this will be his final season, speculation about his successor has run rampant. As Jackson's lead assistant coach, Brian Shaw may soon find himself the heir to one of pro sports' most coveted positions, that of the LA Lakers head coach. Brian Shaw has been part of the Lakers family since 1999. The importance of strong family ties has been central to his professional and personal journey, which began in Oakland, California, where Charles and Barbara Shaw doted on their only son.
My mother and father were both present in my life and supportive in every event and every sport that I took part in. And Christmas times and Thanksgiving where all the relatives would get together and have, these tremendous feasts and tell stories, and I'd get to hear about the things that my father did when he was a little boy, and we laughed. So the family life and family structure was always something that was stressed.
Brian also shared a special bond with his sister, Monica.
We did everything together, and there was genuine love, I was always pulling for her, she was pulling for me. Even though she was 3 years younger than me, it was as if she was my big sister. She wouldn't let anybody say anything about me or do anything to me. So, those are the things that I remember the most about my childhood.
At guard from California, Santa Barbara, 6'6", number 20, Brian Shaw.
Shaw entered the NBA in 1988 as a late first-round pick with the Boston Celtics.
Brian got some daylight, hits it!
He moved on to Miami, where he came into his own as a valuable role player.
The 10th made three-pointer for Brian Shaw. He's got 30 points.
After finishing his fourth NBA season, Shaw looked forward to spending time with his family. But instead, his life was about to take an unforeseen turn.
I remember it was in the beginning of the summer in '93, and I had just got my parents a house in Oakland, and I had recently just bought myself a house in Las Vegas. My mother wanted to go down and help me get the house set up, Father's Day had just passed, and I was going to trade in the older Jeep that he had, and my mother said, no, just keep it, and we'll drive it down to Vegas. And I remember the last thing my mother said was, we'll call you in the morning when we get there. It'll take us about 12 hours or so to drive. And went to bed, and the next morning, about 8:30 that morning, the phone rang. So I looked over at the clock, and I'm thinking that it's them telling me that they got to, they just got to Vegas.
He doesn't say anything, and he gets up out of bed, and he walks down the hallway and stands at the steps, and then he kind of just broke down, and I was like, what's going on?
It was the coroner's office. And they said that my mother, father, and my sister had all been killed in a car accident. So it was one of those things where I just felt like it was a bad dream. And I closed my eyes, and I was like, this can't be happening to me.
Shaw's father had fallen asleep at the wheel. The only survivor was his sister's 1-year-old daughter, Brian's namesake, Brianna.
My agent at the time was able to get to Vegas quicker than me to find out all the details where my niece was, because that was my whole family.
Did you know right away that you wanted to take custody?
Yeah, I did. She lived in the house with my mother and my father and sister. So as far as I was concerned, I was the closest family that she had. That's what families do. They pull together and they make it work, and so that's what we did.
Despite his personal devastation, Brian had to press on with his NBA career. He emerged as a key contributor with the Orlando Magic during their successful run of the mid-90s, and then he helped the Lakers win 3 straight championships. Though painful memories of the accident began to recede, the void in his life remained.
In the 99-2000 season, we won our first championship. And I remember looking around the locker room and I saw Shaq's parents in the locker room spraying champagne, Kobe's parents, Fisher's, Rick Fox's, Robert Ory's. And, I was elated because we won the championship, but then there was a part of me that set in and said, my parents deserve to be here to be a part of this too.
But he found solace at home, where, through the years, he and his wife Nikki have provided a loving environment for Brianna.
So if you had your choice right now, where would you want to go?
I don't know, I'm scared to go out of state, but then I'd want to stay home either, so.
She's 18 years old now, applying for colleges, and a beautiful young lady, and she was our blessing.
Those who know Brian and his story understand the depth of his character. His coaching credentials are built upon his ability to command respect.
The great thing about him is that you'll always know where he stands. He's not going to beat around the bush. He's going to tell you exactly what he needs from you and what you're doing wrong, and it's never anything personal.
No, I didn't see that, but I just saw that. I just saw you holding his jersey as he ran out to go set the screen. That's what I saw.
He's just trying to help you be a better player and help us get to where we need to go as a team.
I wouldn't want to put you in a position of saying who would you like to replace you, but do you think Brian could replace you?
He's very capable. He's very capable of doing that. And I don't know the mindset of Jerry Buss. He's the one that's going to make the choice. I think Mitch is going to give him the recommendations. He may talk to me about it. He may not.
So you're going to be head coach of the Lakers next year or what?
Right now, I am just concentrating on being the best assistant coach that I can be. But if the opportunity availed itself, of course, I would love that. It'd be a dream come true. 3-2.
As Shaw appears poised to make the biggest move of his career,
You're 18 now, right?
family continues to be his guiding force.
Even though you always going to be our little girl.
I feel their presence around me all the time. College is going to be your funnest days.
Yeah.
Find out a lot about yourself. And we'll find out a lot about how we raised you. And even though they're not here, I know that they're proud of the way that things turned out. So make us proud. All right, I know you will. I know you will.